Well, howdy doody, and welcome to the Bee and Rose podcast on this fine and dandy Sunday morning. I'm looking out the window and I'm quite glad to be here in the shed because my husband is doing the ironing, something which I loathe and dread because I seem to do enough of it for work. This is like really kind of like, I don't know if it's because I've got light coloured stuff in the background or what, but I feel like my teeth are radioactively glowing in the light of this huge big bulb, and that everything's a little bit kind of burnt out with a bulb. And it's not that big, it's really rubbish actually, but clearly it's got delusions above its station this morning. Simmer down bulb, actually I can't look at it, it's gone super bright. It probably means it's going to go ping and just explode, doesn't it? Anyway, waffle. Hello and welcome to again, whatever episode this might be of the Bee and Rose podcast. I never seem to know. I've got a lot of reflection in my glasses. Ooh, but I think it's actually coming from the sun, about which I can do nothing because I do not have mystical powers. Thank you to all returning subscribers for coming back to see more, and hello to all new subscribers, which is I'm finding really exciting. And like I had a look, I never ever thought I'd get to 500 subscribers, which is why I plan to do a giveaway, which I will talk about in a minute. And I was like, nah, that'll never happen. I'll have this knitting bag here for years. And then all of a sudden I've got 1,137, which should be quite intimidating, but it doesn't feel real. And I'm like, how has that happened? And then I know how that's happened. It's because that Jenny Rushton from Cashmerette has shared my details on the Cashmerette newsletter. Sorry, I've just been put off by my teeth. What's going on? It's just a bit bizarre. So thank you Jenny, and thank you to everybody who's popped over here from the newsletter. What? Hopefully I will fulfill your expectations, however it's doubtful because I generally don't even fulfill my own. And on that note of self-depreciation, shall we crack on? Yeah, so I'm coming to you from my shed at the top of the garden, which is my sewing shack, my sewing sanctuary, where I hide from life, from 3 children, a husband, a dog and a cat, who always want things. This is where I come to work. I've got a sewing business that I've had for 8 years where I make baby carriers, geet fanciers out ones. Yeah, bespoke, bijou, whatever word you like to put in front of it, which translates as quite expensive. That's kind of what I do, and I love it. And I get to work with the most beautiful woven fabrics, a lot of which is hand woven, which is like mighty fine. And I also make bags as well, and I work with leather. And I was in hospital recently and I described my employment situation as leather worker, which brought much hilarity. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so sorry, I've just stopped. I had these images of me head to foot in leather with a talcum powder. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get a grip of what's going on here. So that was the introduction. Right, where am I now? Yes, so thank you to everybody who's been here a while for coming back, and yoo-hoo, hello and welcome to everybody who's new. I hope you enjoy what you see. I'm going to be talking about a little bit of knitting. Because I've only done a little bit of knitting, I'm going to talk about a bit of sewing, a bit more than a little bit, but not like eat loads. I think if I've got time and I don't get self-conscious about how much I've rattled on, I'll talk about podcasts that I'm watching and listening to. But before I do any of that, I'm going to press stop and I'm going to sort out my light bulb because I feel like I'm just kind of fading into the wall in a... yeah. I'll sort my lighting and I'll be back. Bye! There we go. My method for sorting out the lighting. Do you want to know the secret? Move the flash back a bit. There, nice and complicated, eh? I know why I'm being a bit off-put this morning. It's because there's a grid on the screen and I'm not in the middle. Yeah. Don't know why that's happened. Anyway, I'm not going to fiddle with it or it'll just get worse. So... ages ago, I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago, but before that I hadn't done one for a while, and I wanted to do a giveaway, and I was going to give away a project bag, some yarn and a scarf when I got to 500 subscribers, and I just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth because lots of things were happening and I wasn't knitting because my shoulder was poorly, blah blah blah. But I'm going to announce the winner clever thing on YouTube where you can look at who all of your subscribers are, like by their names, and the winner of the competition is Claire from Beautiful Things, and she was actually my first subscriber, so congratulations, Claire. If you're not watching this, how rude. If not, I'll just send you a message and let you know, and I'll get your address and post those little tiddly bits off to you. I don't actually know where they are, it's been that long, so when I find them I'll put them in the post. I'll check that there's no moth eggs in the wool because it's been that long. But they should be with you sometime. No, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get it in the post to you if I've got your address by then. Right, I thought I took, well, what I'll do, actually, I'll put timestamps below, if that's what it's called, to show you how long I'm talking about knitting, how long I'm talking about sewing, how long I'm talking about podcasts and stuff that I've been watching and plans that are coming up, in case knitting's not your bag, or in case you're not really interested in sewing. Because I know I did start this as a knitting podcast, and I feel like I've cheated a little bit by skipping onto the sewing, but yeah, just what happens, isn't it? I can't really knit, and I just don't really think I could fill a full podcast of me talking about an inch of vanilla sock. I probably could, but I don't really want to try it. Could do it, wouldn't it? It'd be like an art installation piece, rambling on incessantly about an inch of sock, and I'll show you that inch of sock. So this, you know how I've said I will never knit socks from hand-dyed yarn ever again, and I will never knit anything that hasn't got nylon in. Well, for socks, but obviously I'll use it for scarves and everything else because it's gorgeous and I love it. I did buy me some Stylecraft. It's in the colourway Etna. It's, I want to say Heel and Toe, but I don't think that's what it is. That is actually a charity that exists over the road for children with dyspraxia. It is Head Over Heels in the colourway Etna, and it's great. It feels quite woolly, it feels like it's going to be substantial, and it's going to live up to being worn inside Dr. Martens. That's it so far. I started on, I couldn't sleep the other night. I had a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock, and it meant that I couldn't go to sleep when I went to bed because I was stimulated by the coffee, because it doesn't take much nowadays. Don't need a fairground ride, I just need a cup of coffee and I'm away with the fairies. So yeah, I started the other night. You might know, if you've watched the podcast for a while, you might know I have no concept of time. I never know what date it is. I have to figure out how old I am, and I've got no idea when we got married. I know it was 14 years ago, but I have no idea when. So I do struggle with things like that. So I started this a bit ago, and I was up all night until 5 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So I thought, right shoulder, I'm gonna knit. And I didn't, it was fine. But what I did, I looked on ye old YouTube, which is like just masterful and full of everything, to find exercises for me gammy shoulder. If you've not watched before, you won't know that I normally waffle on about having a poorly shoulder. I injured it in the summer last year, and I've just made it worse by not knitting basically until after Christmas, when I've stopped knitting for about 3 months, and this is basically all I've done. So it was a complete life change because I'm a very productive knitter usually, and I love making clothes for the kids and making scarves and socks and stuff. Changed, and I didn't knit. I just spent a lot of time on my phone and a lot of time shouting at the kids because I didn't have like that other thing to do. And it's not like I did any, you know, I was always taking the dog out and stuff like that, but I would take my knitting with me. So I don't know, I just find life boring without moving my hands, and I've had to kind of readjust, which is fine. Yes, I've knitted a bit of a sock. I can't remember what I was talking about. I completely lost my train of thought because I can see the little blue tits hopping on and off the washing line outside. I see I'm getting distracted. Yeah, so I like this. It's just a vanilla sock, top down. I'll kitchen stitch the toe and then I'll put a heel in. But what I did want to do was just talk about my favourite knits from last year, the stuff that's worn the most. And I don't know if it's because the kids like it or if it's because I make them wear it, because otherwise I just feel like they're really unappreciative, overprivileged children who get all this stuff and then just wear their t-shirts from Asda. So right, this is the Prairie Fire jumper from Tin Can Knits, and I made this in my own hand-dyed yarn. It's double knitting and it's bloody lovely. I love this pattern, and I love Tin Can Knits that go up to really big sizes, which is always a bonus when you're a really big size. Not that I've knitted any for me, like, but if I was going to, I would definitely do this. Just think it's a very flattering shape. And when I say I make this for the children, Sylvie's about 5'6", 5'7", and she's a UK size 10, so she is adult sized but child brained. I believe our frontal cortex has not yet fully formed, if that's the right thing to say. Yeah, and you can tell. Proper pre-nager. So yeah, that's Sylvie's jumper. Prairie Fighting can knit. That got worn a lot, and it still does, but it's getting a bit little now, so I'll have to keep it for a while to put on Annabelle. This is Bee's Tegner by Boylan Knitworks. Again, my own hand-dyed fingering weight 4-ply yarn with a random stripe of green, but that's good because it means Bee always knows what's the front and what's the back. I picked up the wrong pipe ball to start and knit with, and that happened. Isn't that lovely? I love the border on it, it's just so pretty. And I think I started to knit this when my shoulder first started twinging. Oh yeah, and I resolved to knit the entire thing continental style instead of throwing. Is that right? Yeah, instead of throwing, I was knitting continental. And that was my first project, knit continentally, and now I can just do it. I can't do continental style knitting without looking at it, but I can do it no bother. Before I was like, how am I going to get the wool in my needle? And now it just kind of happens. So yes, we love that. And then the other Boylan Knitworks one that we absolutely love in this house is, can't remember what it's called. Oh, I'm burning out again. Can't remember what it's called. This, oh, Sunset Highway. Yeah, so I'm just going to put it on like that and pretend I'm wearing it. That's what you've got to do when you're fat, you see. You've got to get the thin clothes and you've got to splay them. What do you think? Can you tell? Yeah, that's me set for the rest of the episode. My unfeasibly small jumper across my bountiful chest. Nice. Keep winking. Don't know what that's all about. Right. And Knit Love Wool. Ooh, I'll have to put a link in. Sorry, I'm not very good, am I? It's because I'm out of practice. I used to do this every week. The Treysta, which was a jumper, but I've sticked it down the front, and I think I've got pictures of me doing it on Instagram because I thought I'll have to show that off, won't I? Cute fancy. Isn't that lovely? I love it when Bee wears this, and she wears it a lot. She had it on underneath that coat. She's just got like a waterproof thing from Mountain Warehouse, which isn't very thick, so she wore it under her coat in the winter, and it's, oh, I love it. I love it. Like really, I was dead allergic to the wool when I was making it as well. Yeah, so that's it really. They were my favourite knits from last year, and I think my favourite knitting equipment is my Chai Goo interchangeable needles and higher needles, but not the higher sharps because I have constant injuries. I like the ones with the green cable, not the ones with the blue cable. I do like the ones with the blue cable, but I just prefer the ones with the green cable because they don't leave holes in my fingers. They're not as sharp, but they're just super. That's it for knitting, folks. That's all. I haven't got anything else to show you. I'm going to adjust my colours again because I remember how I ballsed it up last week, so I'll be back. Toodaloo. Well, I'm back, and you probably won't realise that I've actually been gone for about an hour and a half. We went out for breakfast, bought a new lipstick, tried lots of lippy on my hand, wiped it on Annabelle's coat by accident, and now I'm back in the shed to talk about sewing. So, excuse me while I just wipe my nose. I've fallen in love with a pattern which isn't for a garment but for a purse. It's called the Necessary Clutch Wallet, and you can find it on Tinternet. I can't remember who made it, so as per always, so I'll put a link in the text. There's seeds on this. What's going on? Isn't she gorgeous? I made this one for a customer using Woven Wings Titania fabric, and it's just beautiful with a clasp on the front and loads of pockets inside and a zipper. I can't wait to send that to her. I think it's lush. I think Mark's going to come in the door. Oh no, he's not. And this one using Liberty Tonalone Strawberry Feast fabric, but I've made a mistake. Can you see on the back? It's quite, there's lots of black lines on the print. Well, can you see on the front there's not? I've used the wrong side of the fabric for the front, because I was looking at it thinking, well, it hasn't got a wrong side and a right side, and it has. So that's a little bit disappointing. What? But still, it means I get to keep it. Wahahaha. And it's spotty in it. And it's lovely. It's got a zippy here. And if you fancy making one of these, if you have a look on YouTube, there's a video for Necessary Clutch Wallet by Kittenish Behaviour. I remembered something. Can we just have a moment? Oh, I remembered something. Kittenish Behaviour. And she goes through step by step on a YouTube video. Obviously she speeds it up a bit, otherwise you'd just be like, what? Yeah, I love it. It's gorgeous. It's so cute. And you can have like a wrist strap and put a shoulder strap on the other one, a thin shoulder strap. And it's it's dead easy, I suppose. You need a good heavy duty sewing machine, but it's worth giving it a try if you don't fancy making clothes, or if you've got yourself a bonny frock and you want a matching bag. Do not be scared, people. You kind of construct, this is like an oval shape, and you kind of construct the outside of the purse. Then you construct these little, see, I haven't finished yet, construct these little pocket things here and lie them flat, and then you kind of fold this on the top, and then you just do a zipper pouch, like a normal zipper pouch, and either rivet it in or stitch it in. I'll have to rivet it because even though I've got an industrial machine, it won't go through all that bulk. But yeah, I love it. Super. So I would definitely recommend giving that a go. The Necessary Clutch Wallet. I've had the pattern for years, you know, and I didn't have the confidence to give it a try until I started making bags properly. And then I was like, well, if I can make a proper full-on bag, I can make a purse. And yeah, trying to get the time down so it doesn't take quite as long to do. And also I have been making dresses for my children. I'll just get them down so you can have a gander. The Joni dress from the Tilly and the Buttons book, I've made one from Stretch Crushed Velvet, which is probably like 100% polyester, I didn't even look. And another one from Scuba Fabric, which I've never had before. It's not like the neoprene stuff, it's a lot lighter. I don't know if it's the same as double brushed polyester, but it's sweaty. You know, when you feel a fabric, and you can tell it's going to make you sweaty, but it hangs lovely. It's got a lovely shape to it, and when Bee's wearing it, it just hangs beautifully. If you have any kind of qualms about your skin or your body, it's probably not the best thing to wear unless you're at a point where you just wear whatever you want whenever you want, because every kind of bit of you shows through the fabric. It's weird, it's like clingy but not clingy at the same time. Revealing, doesn't leave any secrets, I would say. So, not that I might not have any secrets, which is ace. And it's just dead easy but so effective. I love it. It's well worth giving it a try. I've got some photographs of Bee wearing it, so I'll show you them again. But it took about an hour, and that included the cutting out. So you've got a front bodice, a back bodice, 2 sleeves, and then the skirt, which is like a circle skirt, I suppose, half circle, I don't know, which is 2 pieces. And you kind of twist the front, which is why it's got a twist in it, and then you stitch this little seam up here. Ian, I just love it. I could make millions of them, and I probably will. If I had a local fabric shop. Sorry, Mark's shouting at Bee outside. I'm just wondering what's going on. I've bought plants, and what I do, I buy the plants and I never plant them. I always get Mark to do it because I hate like digging in muck. It's the bending over. It's just like, it's just not on. So I get him to do it, and then yeah, and I wonder why he complains when I come home with plants. It's because I'm like giving him work, aren't I? Like, yeah, dig. So yes, I made those 2 since I last saw you, and they are from the new Tilly and the Buttons book, Stretch, and I'm having to stretch to pick it up. It's quite heavy. Yes. This one, the Joni dress, that's what it looks like in her book, and it comes out looking like that. It's spot on, and it's so easy, and you could use a whole different range of fabrics to make it. So if you're nervous about starting, and if you haven't made clothes before, and if you fit the sizes that are prescribed by this book, then go for it. Very, very nice. And also my friend Emma came over one day last week and we made a hoodie together. She's never sewn anything before in her life. She used it, well, she has, but she was like 12 when she used the sewing machines in school. So it was their touch and go. And I wanted to tell her to stop to take a pin out, but she didn't. She just kept her foot down. So she was like sewing and taking the pins out at the same time. Hence the corners weren't really corners. They were just like weird shapes. So after she'd done her sewing, I went back and did another line of sewing. Yeah, because it was all a bit... yeah. Anyway, she did really well and she made a hoodie that looked like a hoodie, and I'll put a photograph of it in here. And it's this one again, the Stella. I think I showed you last time I made a purple one for B. So we took our measurements. She was, we took our bust measurement, but she's a lot bigger around the hips. So we graded out from, I think it was kind of the... we graded out from about a size 4 to a size 8. They are tilly in the button sizes. They're not a size 4 and a size 8. I don't know what they are, what they would refer to. And I think that's good because instead of seeing, oh, that's a 12, oh, that's a 20, you actually have to measure yourself and figure out what's going on instead of relying on shopboard sizes, which changed dramatically from shop to shop. Sometimes you have no idea. If you buy a size 20 in Next, not that I've done that for a long time, it's probably the equivalent of a size 24 in Marks and Spencer's, I don't know. So I love the way that the sizes are just done in numbers, and it's the same with the Cashmerette patterns as well. They're not actually done... I love the way the sizes are done in numbers. They're not done just in sizes, because it means that you don't get lazy and rely on the size chart. So she might have said, oh, I'm a size 16, and we could have done our top in a size 16 and it wouldn't have necessarily fit on our hips. So the grading out was easy. You just start at one point and then move your lines. And it reflected the shape of her body, so it looks... she's very curvy. She's got a tiny waist. She's very small under the bust. She's got big boobs. And then she's got bountiful hips. So she's kind of like that shape. And it look lovely on her. So I was dead proud. She made us proud. And we did it in this red fleece. And it was Connie. And other than that, I have had a sewing fail. I found my nemesis fabric. And it's called chiffon. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Nice pattern, you know, nice fabric, but look at the state of the hemming. It's awful. I thought I was dead clever and I'd just sew it like I normally sew it. And in fairness, the sleeves have gone in all right and the back panel's gone on okay, but oh, the hems are terrible. So I spent a bit of time on YouTube. And I'm going to just cut them off and start again. But what am I going to do with the neckline? I've overlocked it. But I'm going to put it on. Hang on. So I've overlocked it. I did the neck adjustment to make the neck smaller so it doesn't gape. And I think it looks smashing. I moved the dart. It's darts in spot on. It's in the right place. It's a really good fit. It's just the fabric. What am I going to do with this neckline? I don't know what to do with it. I've overlocked it. Let's see if you can see. Come on, a bit faster, camera. Play the game. So I've overlocked the neckline. But what am I going to do with that? Do I just... I don't know. Do I like turn it under? I can't imagine doing a facing with chiffon. I think that would be terrible. I don't know what to do, but you can see the shoulders look all right. They're a bit wiggly, but they're okay. And next time what I'm going to do, even though it's like, hello, look into my eyes. Let's get that back out there a bit. So, although it's going to be like sewing it twice, the next one I do, I'm going to do with proper French seams, I think. Ah, that's better. So that everything's tucked in and you can't see it, because I got so excited by this fabric. There's a local shop called BST Fabrics and we'll go along and it's got loads of cheap stuff in it. A lot of it is utterly diabolical, but then some stuff's just fabulous. And I just love this chiffon, even though it's like sweaty mess fabric. It was £2 a metre and I needed 3, so £6 for a top. I mean, it's £6 for now if I can't sew the fabric, like, so I've got to figure out what to do about these seams. And obviously on chiffon, I'm not going to unpick it. I did watch a YouTube video and they said that to sew a line. I'm going to overlock it because it frays like it can be. Sew a line and then fold the fabric up where you've sewn your line and turn it over and do a tiny little hem. So I will finish this off because I do like the cloth, and I will do the other two. I wish I had them here so I could show you what the fabric's like, so you can see it's worth it or it's not worth it, and I'll do them properly. I always feel like everything's got to be done really quickly, but then you know what, I'm worth a bit of time. Come on guys. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave this on, this top with an unfinished hem. So if you're just joining us at this point in the podcast, hello, this is me wearing unfinished clothing. And that's it. That's all the sewing that I've done. Although I say that's it, that's probably quite a lot actually, because I have done things for work and the kids have been on holiday for 2 weeks. We went up to Edinburgh. I missed the Edinburgh Yarn Festival altogether because we were going to the Yarn Festival, which was last Saturday. The Harp Festival rather, and it was fantastic. I spotted a woman wearing a Birkin sweater, which is the design by Caitlin Hunter Boyle and Knitwork, so I went straight over to her and she knew who I was. She'd seen the podcast and it was just all bizarre and fabulous, and she was just so lovely. So hello. Yeah, it was great fun, really good, and my 2 girls sat their grade 1 harp exam a few weeks ago and they both got distinctions. We found out yesterday, so there you go. Geet clever as out, ho. Chuffed to bits. Right, I do have plans for sewing for next week. One of them, let me move this closer because I'm having lighting issues. Right, one of the plans I've got is to try and make from this book, Noodlehead style, handmade style, which I love. I'm going to have a go at making this double zip wallet just as a change from the necessary clutch because I don't want to get bored. Because I find when I get bored I start to do things a bit too quickly and I get complacent and I make mistakes, so I'm going to have a go at doing that. I love this, I love Anna Graham's designs. Hers were the first bags that I ever made, the 2-for-1 tote and gather, and there's a few others as well, and they're lovely, and she's got quite a few free ones as well on the internet, because if she works with a designer like Michael Miller, she'll do a free pattern and showcase the fabric or whatever. I don't know how it works. So I want to do that. And also, I've got 5 meters of grey fleece hanging on the line. The dog's going to start barking at the neighbour. He's called Cyril, the kids all call him Squirrel, and the dog wants him dead. She'd do nothing, you know, she'd be no happier than what she would be if he was just lying in a pile. She's a nightmare. Oh, she hasn't started, it's like a miracle. Mark's planted the plant though. Get in. Anyway, I feel really rambly today. I think it's like the excitable pressure. 1137. Whoa. Right, so I've got 5 meters of fleece in the tumble dryer. Ain't no way I'm putting that on the washing line. It'll probably snap. I do have 3 meters of denim hanging on the washing line though. I'm going to have a go at this. I've had it for ages and I want to make myself a jacket. And I don't want to make it out of cotton. I want something that's going to be not drapey, but it's going to hang nicely. And I know fleece is really cheap and it's like pure polyester, but it's not difficult to work with. It's very forgiving and I think that it'll be warm. So I've got this pattern and it's actually quite similar to a pattern that I downloaded from Seamwork magazine, which is also for a jacket which is designed to be made in fleece, and I will put a link to that in the notes because it's fab. I haven't used the Butterick Connie Crawford pattern before. I've looked at one and I was just like, what? It seems so confusing. I think it was for a shirt, but this doesn't seem too bad actually. The construction looks pretty straightforward. The jacket, quite like the way that the jacket's in 2 parts at the back, so it's got a bit more interest. And I guess if you got confident you could put a little kick pleat in there or something, you know, if you wanted to be all fancy. But I'm going to have a go on the fleece, and if I like it, they've got some boiled wool and BST fabrics, which is quite a bit more expensive. It's like £13 a metre, so you're looking at like a proper price coat. It's not lined, could line it, but it's not lined. So yeah, I will have that made. I don't think I'll do a podcast next week. It'll probably be the week after, so that I've actually got something to show you. And the kids are off another week, and I'm markless and carless next week, so there will be things going on that don't all revolve around me. What's that all about? So I'm definitely going to do that because I bought the fabric. And I'm also going to do the Cashmerette Ames jeans. I'll put a link down below. I haven't got a photograph. I've got the denim hanging on the washing line, so I'll see how that goes. The Cashmerette although they go up to a size 32 UK, I find that my shape, my bust measurement and my waist measurement are the same, and then my hips are 2 inches smaller. Thanks, mother. Thanks for that genetic shaping. When it comes to making clothes, just makes it a bit more complicated, doesn't it? So instead of having a pattern that's got like 48-inch waist, 50 whatever inch hips, I have to make my waist bigger. So I have to always either make elasticated trousers where I've self-drafted a pattern from a pair of pants I've already got that are dead stretchy, or I'm going to have to change the pattern, and I'm going to change it. And I don't think I'm going to, the jeans pattern has got legs, funnily enough, and then it's got a yoke around the top, and I think I'm going to miss the yoke out, and I'm just basically, I'm going to take the elements from the pattern, I'm going to take the back side because it's flat, as is my tush, and the legs which are slim as the mine, because I carry all of my body on my body, not on my legs and not on my ass. So yeah, I'll have a go at that. I've done a muslin out of a pair of curtains, which was rather special, and they now reside in a bin. I thought I'd wear them as shorts in the summer, but I can't get away with Sanderson curtains even for shorts in the garden. I thought, what if somebody comes to the door? I'd be horrified. But I'm determined to make myself a pair of trousers, because the ones I've got are all store-bought, and I can guarantee if I walk from the house to the shed and my hands are full, by the time I get to the shed, my trousers are round my ankles. They just don't work, because they made them out of stretchy fabric that gets more and more stretchy as you wear it, and then they've got like this weird stretchy waistband that's not even elasticated, it's just like dead stretchy. I mean, how is that meant to stay up? It's just not going to work, is it? And I always have to buy them really small, because in the shops they presume that if you're like a size 26, 28, they presume that your backside's going to be a lot bigger than what mine is, so it just gets complicated. So yes, I'm going to have a go at making the jeans, but I'm going to miss out several elements, and I just want a reliable pattern that I can go back to again and again, even though I am going to have an elasticated waistband like I've always had since I was a kid, but at least they'll stay up and they'll not just drop off. And I do like wear about with these jeans, but it's so uncomfortable, I don't like it. I'd rather have just jeans that stay up. Simple as that. So that's the plan, and they don't hang around my knees. Like if the postman's at the door and I've got to run down the stairs, I'm houting my trousers up at the same time as going down the stairs. There are 2 people hovering very close to my door. So as well as buying the fleece and buying the denim, I've had a bit of a splurge, and I bought myself some Liberty fabric. Apart from the stuff that I made the purse out of, I got this because it was reduced. We've got a fab little shop near us called Gold Stitch. She does sewing classes and bits and bobs, and she's the only retailer in our area who can sell Liberty fabric, and it's so frustrating because it's never open. Whenever you go, it's always shut, even if you look at the opening hours. So I went earlier in the week knowing that it was the proper opening hours, and it was still shut because she'd gone on holiday. So on Thursday, Mark and I pulled up outside the store, and she was in and the lights were on. I was like, I have to come in. You have to let me in. I know what you've got in there. I'm going to have to get in. And she let me in. And that's about 50 quid. So I think she was kind of happy. So I bought that. And I bought some stretchy stuff to make something for B with. And I think that was all. Oh yeah, and this has just come through the post. You know, my love of Marie Von Trapp and curtain fabric. So this is a pair of bark cloth curtains. I'm going to make a top out of. I think I'll use the Montrose, but I might modify the neck and put some proper pleats. Not pleats because the neck's too big. I might modify the pattern so that I can put proper pleats in it, because otherwise that is going to look very curtainable, isn't it? They're lined and they smell of wood smoke. They don't smell bad. So rather than fanny on taking the lining out, I'll just cut the hems off at the sides, and there's loads. They're like 1.6 meters long by a meter wide each. So yeah, I look forward to working with them. And what else have I got to show you? Oh yeah, other sewing plans for next week. I bought myself a pattern for some culottes, and I'm going to make B marigold, Telly and the Buttons marigold jumpsuit, because we bought a jumpsuit from Superdrug, and no, we didn't, that's where I've just been to buy my new lippy from Sainsbury's, and she loves it. It looks so cool. and like literally cool for the summer. It's got no sleeves or anything. She can get it on and off dead easy. It's a bit hard work when you've got to go for a wee in the woods like, but she wore it at Gibbside last time. Other than that, it's super. And it's got a trouser pattern, and I never buy our trousers because to get the width in the waist, the legs are always too long. She wears an adult size 14, but she's not that tall yet. Hi Annie. So yes, I'll be making those for B, and I'll never make anything for Annie because she still grows really fast and it's just like a waste of my life. Better. Oh, I guess I should mention this. I've only got it on with a vest underneath because I was going to show you my chiffon. I wouldn't normally have like bits of grey vest there. This is from a pattern. It's got pleats down the front purposely. I made it a while ago. Again, it's from a curtain and I love it. It's one of my favourite things ever. And I'm a bit disappointed because it started to go a bit of a gangly colour in the washing machine. It's like, it's not as pure, not as like white and cream as it was anymore. It's verging on the grey. You know when you see kids in the schoolyard and their shirts been washed 20 million times in with like the black knickers or the black socks, that's what's happening to my top. But I love it. I had to modify it loads. I can't remember exactly what the pattern was, but I'll put a link down below. I'll find it. I know I've got it in the shed somewhere. And I made two, but the other one, which was also from bark cloth from curtains, which had paint splatters up the back, so it must have been from the olden days where somebody had painted their kitchen and not taken their curtains down, which is just what always happened in my house when I was a kid. I put pockets in it, and unfortunately whenever I went anywhere, a door handle would always get stuck in the pocket. Does this happen to you, or is it just me? There would always be a door handle stuck in the bloody pocket, and eventually it just like ripped into a massive hole and I had to put it in the bin. I nearly cried. I was so upset. I'll never see that fabric again in my life, and I've just handled it to death with a door handle. It was quite devastating. So yes, it is also a curtain and I do love it. And I think this is the first proper thing that I made for me in ages, because other than this I've just been making pinafore dresses for the girls. And I think I need a bit of a chivvy on with this because I bought the Cashmerette turner dress and I'm really scared of making it. Never worn a dress apart from when I was a kid, and it was really traumatic. And I think the reason as an adult why I've never worn a dress is my mother was always, ooh, you look better in trousers, you can cover your bum with a big long top. And you know, these body shaming, fat shaming things that you hear all of your life when you grow up as a fat person. And also, don't listen to this if you might be triggered by bullying or anything. I went to the cinema one night and there was this complete a-hole of a kid, David Collins and his brother, and I had a skirt on. And they just took the mick out of me all night about the circumference of the bottom of my skirt, and I've never really got past that. Yeah. So I don't know, I really want to make it. You need to tell me what to do. That was why I bought that grey scuba fabric, and I'm glad I didn't make it out of that because it's too clingy for me to be comfortable with. But they've got this stuff at BST and it's like a really heavy stretch fabric. It's not that stretchy, and I don't want anything that stretchy because I don't want anything to cling to my back. I'm not like a straight shape, not like this gorgeous bird here. I'm just like all shapes, and I'm not there yet. I'm not comfortable yet with that. So tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. I really want a dress because I've got some gorgeous sandals, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I've got the pattern sorted. I've done a muslin and I've graded out the waist again. Like I say, I've always got to make the waist on everything like a million times bigger than what it is on the pattern, no matter how big the pattern is. But everything else is super. It fits lovely across the shoulders and across the pubes. So I don't know what to do. Yeah, you'll have to tell me. Or is there a better, not a better, but another pattern that you think maybe I should do the Upton dress because it's done in a woven fabric? I wonder if that would be more suitable, because then I know it's not going to be super duper clingy. Whoa, it's gone dark. Super duper clingy, but then I like this because it's got the sleeves included, and yeah. And I bought it and I want to use it and I love it. So tell me what to do, people. What should I make it out of? What should I make it out of? And obviously I'm not going to wear a belt because I haven't got a waist. Well, I have got a waist. Obviously I've got a waist because I'm a human and I have like top body and bottom body. I'm not cut off under the bust. but I haven't got a defined waist. I'm not the socially acceptable fat shape. I am just like that with the head and legs. That is me, and that's fine. Whereas Emma is like boobs, waist, hips, and she's very, very short. So whenever you look at Emma, she has to look up, which automatically makes her face look slim, and you don't really see anything else. So, you know, she is an acceptable larger bodied lady in terms of social standing and all that shameful, ridiculous schnazzle. So I guess that's something that I really want to do, but I don't know if I'm confident enough to do it, because I might buy the fabric and then never wear it. And that actually leads me on to what I'm reading at the minute. First one is The Body's Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love, and it is utterly epic. The poem at the beginning is just fantastic. It's about it's called My Mother's Belly, and it's about the kids like squishing her belly, and it's just gorgeous. And I can't read it out because I'll cry. Because hardcore moisturizer, boots protect and perfect, and it's, I know they're still like dry, but it's made a heck of a difference. 18 quid for moisturizer that's this big and this wide. £18, couldn't believe it. But anyway, it's done the job. Right, I've recovered. Whoa, composure regained. Right, anyway, I can't talk about that because, as you can see, it just makes me cry. It's mint, buy it. And then this one, The Bear and the Nightingale, it's just wonderful, but I'm cheating, I'm not actually reading it. Who's got time? Look at all the words in there, man, there's loads. How could I possibly do all of that and read a book? And I'm listening to it on Audible, and it's just brilliant. It's dead spooky, and I was in here at 10:30 the other night and it was really dark, and I just thought, no, I have to go to bed. I have to get out of this horrible, scary shed. I can't be in here when it's dark, even though I don't believe in ghosts at all. I still kind of do. Yeah. And I think that's it. Should I have a little look at my book and see if there's anything else I was going to blather on about? Oh yeah, podcasts. Oh, excuse me. Right, podcast I'm listening to, Summit Innanen, Fearless Rebel Radio, always love that. She's All Fat, who is April and Sophie that chat about fat phobia, living life in a fat body, in like a diet culture, all that kind of stuff. Really, really interesting. And then Fatcast by Leslie Kinsell and Marianne Kirby, which is brilliant. And Leslie Kinsell wrote a hilarious but hard-hitting book called Two Whole Cakes. Yeah, they're great. I would definitely recommend having a listen to them if that's something that floats your boat. I mentioned last time I was struggling to find podcasts or vlogs that represented larger body ladies, and I did get a few suggestions, and I think the best one that I got was for Natural Dane. She makes loads of clothes, and she does reviews of all of the patterns, and she tells you the modifications that she's made, and she's very watchable and she's very interesting, and she stands up a lot, which I'm just not going to do because I haven't got room in the shed. I don't know where I'd put the camera. There's Annabelle poking through the window. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to say any more. I have said enough. If you've liked what you've seen, please click like and subscribe and make me dead excited. And I think what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to do another giveaway in a few weeks. I'm going to make one of these, and I might make it from that pink Liberty fabric, or I might make it from something completely different, because I like making them and it's good practice for me, and it means that I get to give something to you guys as well, doesn't it? So yeah, if you watch till the end you'll know that, and if you haven't you'll not. Right, I'm going. I'll be back possibly in a week, probably in a fortnight, once I've got all my sewing done. It depends how much chatter I've got going on inside my head and how much I need to just let it all out. Catch you later, skaters. Bye.